Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure again to connect with all of you for the phase 2 of this discussion on building construction using Mivan or aluminium formwork. We have seen in the first session that it is lightweight, sturdy, repeatable, maximum up to 250 usages, therefore helps with economy of scale. It has got various components which can be coded, barcoded, identified, stacked separately. 4 stages will be there: layout, shuttering or erecting the formwork, concreting, de-shuttering or removal of the formwork. And we have also seen that the material being used is pretty strong, and there are various companies producing the material as per cost, as per convenience, carbon footprint, ease of transportation. Anybody can choose any. And we have seen that there are distinct advantages compared to the traditional construction methodologies. We know that conventional formworks are of various types, but then here this particular formwork is unique because it can be used so many number of times and handled easily, doesn't need extreme expertise. Normal people can be trained. And the best part is that this particular formwork also can give rise to some aberrations which can be corrected. And one particular part that makes sense to mention is the maintenance of this formwork. After it is removed, it cannot be thrown and strewn around. It has to be stacked properly. And there is something called a shuttering oil or formwork oil. It is a high-grade mineral oil which is used and applied to the inner surface of the formwork before the concreting. There are thumb rules for calculation, and there are various types available in the market, and it can be used. Now, Mivan technology is also pretty useful when we have constraints at site. Rather than saying that having less number of man hours for construction as an advantage, sometimes you wanted to finish it within a particular number of man hours. So it can fit the bill in some type of constructions. If you compare this formwork with traditional kind of formworks, whether it is timber formwork, engineered formwork, reusable plastic formwork, permanently insulated formwork, or stay-in-place formwork, flexible formwork, there are so many formworks available in the market. This particular formwork has gathered the interest and attention of many people because this formwork lends itself to easy fitment, removal and support. Easily I can count that if you look at Mumbai, more than, to my own mind, in my little reference before this lecture and panel discussion, more than 20 lakh square meters have already been constructed in Andheri, in Malad, in Orli, in Jogeshwari, in Kandivali, in Mankad, in Goregaon. You have buildings in so many places. Once we are through with this little discussion, before we sign off, we will show you a few glimpses of these constructions.
And finally, inserting the stair risers and tread covers. Upon completion of erection of the wall panels, work on the slab soffit formwork will commence. The sequence of installation of the slab begins by first installing the soffit corners, followed by the soffit lengths to all areas. At this stage, the main support beam for the slab formwork needs to be assembled. This involves taking the end beam, mid beam and the prop head and linking them together using 2 beam bars and 132mm pins. When commencing installation of the slab formwork, start with a deck panel at each corner of the room. and then insert the main support beams, including props. Remaining slab panels will be erected as shown. Kickers will then be located and fixed into position on top of the external walls, including positioning of kicker bolts, used as a means of anchoring the kickers to the concrete structure. While placement of the reinforcement to beams and vertical slabs, the formwork team are utilized checking the vertical alignment of the formwork and props, and also the leveling of the slab soffit. This includes positioning of door spacers, vertical soldiers that controls the alignment of the kickers, providing good alignment of the wall formwork on the next level. During this stage of the works, the supervisor in charge of the formwork erection must do an inspection, ensuring all formwork components including accessories have been securely fixed and are in their correct location. Pre-pour inspection document advises on all the necessary checks to be carried out prior to the pouring of concrete. Once these checks have been completed, verified and also signed off, only then can placement of concrete begin. Removal of the wall formwork can commence 12 hours after completion of the concreting, provided the concrete has attained a strength of 2 newtons per millimeter square. Wall panels can be removed with relative ease, using MFE's panel puller starting from one corner of the room. During removal of the wall panels, the contact surface and edge rail must be cleaned and then positioned by location and sequence for the next level. When striking the formwork components at opening areas, always ensure supporting props are not disturbed and remain in their correct position. Wall ties and sleeves must be removed from the walls within a 24-hour period. Dismantling of the slab formwork can only commence when the concrete has attained a strength of 10 newtons per millimeter square. This is normally achieved after 36 hours, depending on the grade of concrete used. MFE advises that concrete cube samples be taken from the concrete supply on the day of placement and tested to ensure the concrete has attained adequate strength prior to dismantling of the slab formwork. When striking the slab formwork, ensure none of the components free fall, causing injury to fellow workers or damage to components. During dismantling, ensure props supporting the slab are not disturbed and remain in their position. Again, contact face and edges must be cleaned immediately, then positioned by location and sequence for the next level. It's important a team of workers are identified and trained in the erection and moving of the working platform brackets. The working platform team must be provided with all the proper safety equipment. As the wall formwork is being removed, installation of the working platform brackets can commence. When installing the brackets, they must be positioned in the locations indicated on MFE drawings provided and secured using a DWDAG scaffold rod at a maximum span of 1.2 meters. As one team progresses installing the brackets, a second team will follow behind placing support runners and plywood decking, including the installation of safety rails and toe boards. After the concrete slab has been poured, and prior to transferring the formwork from the lower level to the new working level, the surveying team will transfer the main control points for setting out positions of the wall formwork. Survey team will then check levels of the working slab to ensure they are within specified tolerances, and special care must be given to the corners of the building to maintain the verticality of the structure, including checking of the kicker levels. Setting up the wall panels on the upper floor follows the same method as the floor below. However, the sequence changes slightly, as you have to erect the external wall formwork first, placing the panels on top of the kickers. The erection of the slab or deck panels follows the same method as the floor below.
And you will get a fair idea as to how this casting of structural elements with concrete is found to be easy using these forms of formwork. Gentlemen, the RCC part, like I said, is well taken care of, but then micro cracks can take place. So there are some precautions required during Mivan construction and some constant watch. So for which it is better to have a team of supervision. So Mr. Maulik, you can throw some light on the surface cracks that can appear, and there are some compounds that are used in Mivan concreting. Please throw some light.
Actually, before we will start with this concreting part, the major part is the alignment of the aluminum or Mivan formwork system. it should be properly aligned and fully survey with the total station, so that there will not be any problem of the slurry leakage. The main problem of these cracks are slurry leakage. Your cement will go out. Slurry means the cement with the water, that's all. So if it will go out little bit, then there will be only aggregates will be there inside. So cracks will be easily developed. So the main reason for this, to stop the slurry. How to stop the slurry? That if there will be a kicker also, we are providing kicker, and then there will be a wall panel. So there will be a joint. That joint should be very proper. There will be a little bit. If you provide little bit, we will provide cement mortar exactly at that location corner, so there will not be any slurry leakage. So this is one things I have told you, that we can do this to avoid the slurry leakage.
1 minute, Mr. Maulik, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you will find that many builders and many supervisors use many techniques.
Yes.
Some use even a polythene
Yes.
in that end, because all said and done, what they look at is the water cement ratio should not get upset.
Yes.
And the water or the cement along with the water should not
Go out.
So the whole idea is to ensure that it should remain the way it should, at least for those 24 hours.
Yes.
What is this 24-hour catch, Mr. Maulik?
Yeah. So the basically we should focus on to the mixed design. The mixed design we should design in such a way that the concrete achieve the strength within the stipulated time, whatever we have agreed for. So for basically the vertical wall, as per IS 456, it should be 8 hours tripping time. So we can remove the verticality of the vertical wall within 8 hours time. So the mixed design we should have in such a way that it should be complete in 8 hours.
Hold.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Maulik,
Yes.
you will appreciate if I say that the aim is to have maximum strength
Yes.
getting gained
Yes.
within the minimum period.
Minimum.
It helps us to maximally exploit Mivan.
Yes.
Now, you would have seen, gentlemen, when Mivan construction goes on, large quantity of concrete is needed.
Yes.
So, you set up plants like Swing Setter, many companies, you
Yes.
set up plants which are of very high grade. And in the bins, in some bin, you will have the cement, in some bin, you will have the.
Fly ash.
So, you fly ash, and the mixing will have to take place with a professional watch and ward 24 hours.
Yes.
Because the whole game is about the admixture and the cement
And mixed
ratio.
Yes.
How it is being mixed, how
Yes.
it is being pumped,
Correct.
how it is being agitated, what is the consistency
Yes.
of cement that is going inside. Some words from your side, Mr. Maulik.
Absolutely, that same word. Consistency of the concrete should be 100% consistent. Otherwise, there will be sometimes the aggregate will be more. Sometimes the cement will be more. Sometimes water cement ratio will be more. Sometimes admixtures. Why I am telling the admixtures? Because admixtures plays a role. If you will provide a retarder, if you will provide the early strength admixtures, that should be a proportion. Otherwise, what will happen? Your concrete will not set. So the things are, you should have the proper mix design and the supervision to avoid this type of cracks. The ultimate idea is to avoid this.
Thank you. Now, if you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, there is a need to be having an excellent quality control person for the pumping in of cement. It's a must. Secondly, we will have to keep ensuring that we keep testing the output at every floor, at every stage, so that sometimes if we find any flaw, it can be easily removed during the green stage.
Yes.
Can you throw some light?
So while stripping out your wall formwork or slab formwork, whenever you will strip according to the design criteria, your stripping time it will decide the design criteria. So whenever you will stripping the outer shutter or slabs of it, you should be thoroughly check with the cracks developed or not. Little bit there will be hair cracks only. It will not be any shear cracks and all. There will be a hair cracks only. If the slurry will be more leakage, then there will be a problem. So that you should avoid. So if there will be a little bit cracks, there will be hair cracks. You should be filled with the cement slurry immediately, so that there will not be any problem with the color mismatch, and later on the client will not say that it will be a shear crack. So
Right.
you should have proper idea about the quality.
One more point, Mr. Maulik.
Yeah.
Where the walls are going lift after lift, there will be places where we have these holes in which we are creating the support structures on which platforms
Cleats,
are erected,
yeah.
cleats. How are they filled and how is the quality ensured?
See, there will be a cleats, there will be a tie rods to
Yeah.
supports the wall panels. There will be a tie rod, tie cleats. We are saying that cleats and tie rods. So that tie rods will be removed immediately after gaining sufficient strength according to the design, and after that we should fill with the cement mortar immediately, so that there will not be any again mismatch of the color, and there will not be any leakages of the water from the outside to insides.
Beautiful. Brick and mortar structures, you will appreciate, lack a core in case of seismic activity or anything.
Yes.
Whereas the moment you start using RCC, stronger bonds are formed that stand strong during a catastrophe.
Yes.
Now the point is that when we make a Mivan structure, we can always see that it is like earlier in the first phase also we brought out that for earthquake and for it is stronger. But then even for seepages, Mivan structures are found to be better. Less seeping. Again the reason is there, lack of construction joints, etc. Now the antithesis is that when he said that we have to ensure that the slurry doesn't leak out from anywhere,
Yes.
upsetting the water cement ratio. So what can be a brilliant point from our side, gentlemen? That even with a little lesser water cement ratio, that cement should be able to sustain.
Yes.
So we should keep working on that count.
Yes.
So what admixture is required or what additive is required is all about the product.
Yes.
So the product should always overrule our mind.
Yes.
It's very important that, like he said, a kicker is a 5 to 15 centimeters of a step which is provided.
Yes.
Now the point is that he says that the coordinates of the wall and the column are maintained correctly. Now thereafter he also mentioned as total session,
Yes.
visual checks,
Yes.
checks with plumb. Olden day plumb is always the best. So the point is that all kind of checks and counter checks and cross checks are necessary because eccentricity is not permitted.
Yes.
And that will cause a lot of problem.
Yes.
And gentlemen, so far as durability is concerned, like there is a building that is coming up near Pallavaram or must have come up in Chennai, people say that it might have 99 years of life. Some words on durability of a Mivan construction, Mr. Maulik.
Yeah. So according to the design criteria or according to the IS, if we will see that shear wall system will be 100% purely, there will not be any age, but yes, there will be any age of concrete. So the concrete age will be deciding authority. 99 years is not a problem. Currently, you must have seen that the Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad is 100 years life. So it is a concrete structure only. So there is no way that we will not have any concrete less than 100 years. But yes, of course, the mixed design should be proper. There will not be any slurry leakage. There will not be any hair cracks. It should be filled with proper, if there will be any cracks, it will be filled with the proper joints so that there will not be any leakages from that side. So the main criteria is to water will not go inside the concrete so that the reinforcement will not be corroded. So the leakages is the main important to have the durability of the building.
Now, with your permission. So, also I will take it with a pinch of salt to say that all of them will be fit for 99 years or 100 years because we are going to have a separate session on age of buildings.
Yes.
So, there we will go into more details because there are reasons abstract, there are reasons firm, but these are all works in progress when you analyze as to which building can stand for how much years. It's a matter of analysis.
Correct.
But the major point he was trying to make out was that Mivan is expected to have higher durability and live a little longer.
Correct.
Now, the speed of construction in Mivan is based on the economy required and the construction period of the project. If the construction period of the project is less, we can use more Mivan sets and rest recycling.
Yes. So
therefore,
yes,
you can have a 3-day cycle, 4-day cycle, 6-day
Yes.
cycle, 8-day cycle, 10-day cycles and sub-cycles. Some light on that.
Yeah. So basically, idea is to focus on cycle time so that the square meter catering area of your formwork or of your Mivan system will be less. The starting investment, the first investment of the any aluminium, any Mivan formwork system will have the huge impact on your capital. So you should choose the catering area in such a way that your cycle time will be less, not more than 7 days, not more than 6 to 7 days. Your average cycle time should not be more than 6 days. You should not choose any catering area less than this. So basically the idea is to lesser the square meter of your total catering area and more repetition. That is the main idea.
Now let us say walls. After 24 hours, walls can be removed.
As per IS, it can remove after 8 hours. Vertical.
But otherwise, I am trying to say like
if you
for a
can,
larger audience,
yes,
in a conventional sense,
we
so
can,
far as Mivan is concerned,
yes,
जो wall है और wall का जो formwork है,
yes,
definitely at least in 24 hours
yes,
you
yes,
must be able to remove it.
Definitely.
Now, like he said that you don't need separate shuttering for passing of the shuttering material to the next floor.
No.
You can walk on the same staircase that have been cast.
And even from the slab holes,
there are holes, it can be passed on.
Passed on, yes.
From what he is trying to bring out is there is a bottom room and there is a top room and there are holes in between.
Yes.
For this purpose,
yes,
you can pass it on.
Yes, yes.
So it becomes so functionally helpful.
Very
now,
easy.
Yes. Very easy. Now the time is that let me take a 4-day concept. Mr.
Yes.
Maulik, explain as to how in 4 days it can be done.
So
that is shifting from floor to floor.
We are talking about now in days. To complete in 4 days cycle, we should talk on hourly basis. So, first day, not like that. First hour, what you should do. Then after 7 hours, after 6 hours, what you should do. After 12 hours, what you should do. So, in one day, you should have 3 cycle. In one day, you should have 3 cycle. For example, for the first day, if you will be survey on the first 2 hours, then your reinforcement will be 100% pakka for the vertical walls within 7 to 8 hours. And then after 8 hours, after 4 plus 8, 12 hours, your vertical wall formwork inside shutter should be ready. So that by that hourly basis calculations, you should achieve 4 days cycle.
So what happens is, gentlemen, you must have a person who is good at checking of the reinforcement.
Yes.
In Mivan, you can take even 6 hours extra. If there is a problem in the reinforcement, many times what will happen, I'll explain to you. One lift has been prepared. One lift means one floor.
Yes.
Wall, we can move after 24 hours to the next wall.
Yes, yes.
And by that time, the alternate day has come in where you can go and touch the slab.
Yes.
And the 4th day, you can start removing that shuttering also.
Yes.
So, alternatively, you can keep leapfrogging. However, let us say you have prepared the upper floor. It might so happen that suddenly there is a heavy rain and nobody does nothing for 2 days. When you come back, you will have to start with a total station all over again because somebody
alignment
would have stepped on a reinforcement and the alignment would have gone disbalanced.
Yes.
This can be a criminal flaw to say that no, the reinforcement stage has been passed and signed.
Yes.
No. Therefore, gentlemen, I would appreciate that we photographically record the stage passing of steel reinforcement and record it on a book and within 8 hours move in for concreting of the past reinforcement.
Quality checks.
Very good idea.
That is the quality checks actually.
Otherwise, Mivan will go out of your hands.
So basically, sir is asking about the alignments. Main alignment, if your ground floor is exactly a 0-0 alignment, your upper terrace is 100% exactly at that alignment only. It should be 100% 0-0 only. Your focus is not on 1 mm or 2 mm. So your focus is on 0 mm. If you will focus on 0, then ultimately it will come to 1 or 2 mm. So basically the idea is to focus on the alignment of the completely formwork and reinforcement system.
Right, thank you. Mr. Doijode, anything in your mind with respect to drawings or anything?
So I was wondering, since we are doing this technique in a very meticulous way, so there should be drawing related to the formwork also.
Okay.
So who will do that
I'll explain.
and how it can be done?
Point is taken. Thank you. So now what happens is that basically in Mivan construction, what is going to happen is that there are number of shuttering parts for a number of activities. Like we had, take your mind to the phase 1 where we were discussing the parts.
Correct.
Right from the kicker, the prop, the deck unit. You have got different parts for different purpose. Now they are all to be numbered, coded and used. So your point was brought out that you can use even handhold
Yes.
bar coding, because now it is possible. You have to
Possible.
stick one
Yes.
code in a particular place and you can stick it from non-destructible stickers.
Yes, stickers
and you can
also.
keep. The point is that even if you do all that, is there a case in point that people will not know how to fix it at the site? Now here, the little corollary is that it is so repetitive, and in between I said that keep taking photographs.
Yes.
It is so repetitive that like a habit, the worker will say that sir prop should come here and
It will go here only.
it
will go
cannot
in
fit
the
somewhere else.
corner only.
Because the parts lock in a particular manner.
Yes.
So, once a team does 2 lifts, it can do 20.
Yes.
So, I hope that addresses your point.
Means they are so much trained.
So much trained.
Because it is so clearly fixable with clear place that it becomes second memory the moment they start into the second lift. Now, the next point is that if you look at advantages and disadvantages, the advantages were that highly durable, and we said that low maintenance,
Repetition.
we said that repetitive, higher value for money,
Yes.
we said that it has got higher carpet area,
Yes.
and we said that it is earthquake resistant, it is seepage resistant if laid correctly. We said that it can give rise to all kind of shapes, curves,
Architectures.
triangles, rectangles, parabolas. Formworks can be made for all.
Yes.
We brought out that there can be some fixed formworks and some custom made formworks.
Yes.
Now, putting all these on the advantage side, look at a few disadvantages. There are no room for alterations and modifications once the concrete starts setting.
Yes.
True.
They are prone to visible cracks if you have allowed seepages, if you have allowed leakages of the slurry, if you have not focused correctly in the cement quality,
Yes, yes.
if the agitation is not proper. Now, the precautions that need to be taken are few, must and repetitive. So, at every wall, we can write down a set of precautions and keep moving it from wall to wall to wall to wall in a manner, language acceptable by the workers.
Yes.
And gentlemen, it is so important in Mivan technology to have gondolas for outside maintenance, to have excellent safety team for harnesses, add-on ropes.
Yes.
And since you are going lift after lift very fast, there will be places where there are staircases, where there are railings, where there are open balconies, where people can simply fall.
Yes.
So you have to start tying ribbons and tapes.
Yes.
You have to have a safety team at every stage of the building. It is inviolable.
Even inside lift area,
Even
that
inside,
walkways,
because
you should
they are
provide.
going to be a through and through fall.
Yes.
Whereas in conventional work, you are not going to go at that height so fast.
Yes.
Whereas here, before the frills are constructed, you have already reached the
Yes.
height.
Right.
So, great errors and mishaps can happen, and hence great amount of precaution, great amount of ground application of that precaution is necessary.
Yes.
And coming to a fundamental idea, how much do you think excavation and foundation should take, Mr. Maulik?
Yeah. So overall, the basically idea, sir has told that the excavation foundation, it took minimum 20 to 30 days. And then the alignment, and sir has told, alignment is absolutely important. So in that, we should have the dry mock-up first. At whenever the excavation and the foundations are going on, our dry mock-up should be ready. And then sir will understand how it will start.
Now let us say,
Yeah.
let us say that you make a mock-up.
Yes.
The mock-up itself will take 20-30 days.
Yes. Correct.
Today you are making a mock-up for everybody to come to grid.
Exactly,
Because
100% mock-up. There
very,
will not
very-
be any variation, deviation.
Why this is necessary, I'll explain to you.
Yeah.
The cement plant will be new, laborers will be new, Mivan shuttering will be new, oiling team will be new, maintenance team will be new,
Yes.
structural team will be new, and everybody will be new.
Yes.
So first we should put them through a mock-up so that flawlessly they understand the whole drill.
Yes.
Drill as well as specifications. And then they start
Yes.
moving ahead. In Mivan construction, the first setup
Yes.
ideally can take 15 to 20 days. The next can take 7 to 10 days.
And then
And
it will slowly it will come
a
to
typical floor
four
will
to
start
six
coming to 4 to 6
maximum.
days.
It should be. Otherwise, your
Wasting
time,
the
cost,
structuring.
everything will be your waste.
But however, a typical terrace if you have to make, you
Ha.
can take it for 7 to 10 days.
Yes. The terrace will again little bit, because of that water tank reinforcement, your columns, your walls, little bit will come, so that it will take little more time than the typical
So,
floor.
ladies and gentlemen, they say करत करत अभ्यास से जड़ मत होए सुजान जो रस्सी आवत जात से सिल पर होत निशान. Experience makes us perfect. And my experience of constructing Mivan floors of super high rise buildings in Chennai taught me so much about the Mivan understanding, Mivan project, that we could carry out classes for superintending engineers of Tamil Nadu government for a few days, and for the civil sector, whoever wanted to come and learn from us, and for the IIT students, etc. And today we have got an opportunity to share with us, inter alia, the Mivan philosophy. Call it aluminium shuttering because Mivan belongs to a particular company. You can use any one of the same. And it is not necessarily for only high rise. Like we said, it can be for rows. It
For
can be
mass housing also.
Mass housing. It can be for typical construction.
Typical construction. Yes.
And
Easy.
it can be for urgent constructions.
Yes.
It can be used in military applications. It can be used in civil applications. The opportunities that come across are multifarious and many. So, concluding the same, many thanks from my side to both the panelists, Mr. Dojade and Mr. Maulik.
Thank you, sir.
Many
Thank you
thanks.
so much, sir.
God bless.